Say, get your life. Get your life. Get your life.
So I looked at the two words, river. And in verse 38, it says, out of your belly shall rivers of waters flow. Think about this. River. The word river talks about the word floods. When I think about floods, I think about it's not being only enough to satisfy the river, but it's something that is the overflowing beyond what's already there. It's something that's greater, it's something that's bigger, something more than what's already there. And so I advise you right now to think about it. When Jesus gives you something, he gives you something that is consistently flowing. He gives you something that is consistently good. He gives you something that is consistently living. And it is something that is more than just for you. It's for everybody outside of where the river is attached. Because it's not just necessarily the river that flows, but it is the overflow that comes from that. So think about this. If you're saying, God, give me an idea to do something, he'll give you an idea to fix something and get it right. But immediately after that, it will start as a simple idea that will satisfy you. But everyone that is near the riverbanks of your life, everyone that is attached to the riverbanks of your life will begin to see how the overflow comes. And you'll be able to influence and touch those other people that are around you. That is the power of the river that flows from your belly. Let's talk about the mountain process and how a river is formed. And I think this is quite essential. The mountaintop process. A mountain starts. It's huge. Most of them are high, and so they have glaciers inside of them. This is how a river is formed. It starts with a glacier that simply starts to defrost and drips consistently. And from the drippings of the water, there's a stream of water that's consistently flowing. Once the river does not always have a course that's set, because of the momentum of nature that adds water from it, whether it's rain, whether it's snow, and the water that is added to the river from the glaciers already there causes a continuation and a stream and a momentum of the water to be formed. And so not all of the time is the course of the river always set. Sometimes it's the erosion because of the water around it that causes it to forge a lane or forge a river that's not always there. Let's bring that into life applicable stance. Jesus said that he'll give you something that will flow consistently, living water that will flow consistently. That means that a lot of the thing that God gives us, the thing that Christ is able to give us, is this thing called the Holy Spirit, which is something that is a consistent living force in our lives, which will give us something that cannot stop us if we stick with the life principles that it teaches us. That means that even if the course of our life is not planned and it's not something that we can see right now, with the living water that begins to speak into our lives, if we follow the stream and let the water consistently flow, we may have to sometimes create a new path that's not already there. Because the momentum of the thing that God has called you to do cannot be stopped. It just can't be stopped. So water's consistently flowing. We think about what snow and rain are. A lot of times we say those are things that make us feel down, and those are calamities that come into our life. But I ask you to reconsider what that actually means. Rain is something that shows the fortitude of something and how strong it is. Snow is something that is a weather thing that can tell us how strong can you handle the storm. And what happens is when those things begin to come together, they make you a stronger river that will consistently begin to flow and make you almost unstoppable if you're consistently doing it. But here's the thing. Where is the start of that river? It's at the simple drip of a glacier. The simple tip of a glacier, an idea that has been conceived in your heart, something that God has given you, something that he has poured into you, starts off so small. And then we add in something like natural things that come along our lives. So you have random people that begin to speak into your life, that begin to help your life. And what happens? It starts to build a momentum to something greater and bigger than what was already there. All it takes is the courage and a drip of knowledge. the courage and a simple, small idea in order for you to begin to get this inception, to get this idea, to get this momentum that will make you unstoppable and fearless and relentless. I'm a Marvel Comics fan, and so I was watching X-Men the other day, and I noticed that there was a man on the show. They said if you keep running, if he starts running, you better get out of his way because he can't be stopped. This X-Men named Juggernaut was someone who said that behind me, I have so much power. If you get me started, I cannot be stopped. And I want you to have a Juggernaut spirit today, which says that if you start running and you take the simple course of what you have to do, and you begin to go and run and do what he called you to do, I guarantee that the momentum behind you, because of the Holy Spirit and the water that's flowing with you, will not stop you from the things that God has called you to do. It's so much bigger and so much greater than you could ever know. But here's the thing, you've got to flow in the spirit. You've got to flow with the idea. You've got to consistently keep going and watch how your life will consistently change.